Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Martin Wilbecker, and I am back with another book review. This is a retake for The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, because the audio on the original one was terrible, and there were some problems with it, and a couple of my fans and friends let me know. So I wanted to go ahead and hit this again and give you something better. So, first of all, I'd heard of Robin Sharma. I'd heard of the book, but I really didn't know what it was about. And a friend of mine named Rose recommended that I check out the book. And of course, I added it to my reading list and picked it up when it was time to get another book. So this book is a parable, as the front says, about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. And it's based on the story of a man named Julian who has a heart attack and has kind of a reawakening in life. And what he does is he goes to India seeking wisdom and kind of seeking a new path in life. And he finds exactly that. He comes back to the States and he gets connected to his friend John, and he and John sit down and have a conversation. And John is brought up to speed on the things that Julian has been doing over the last, I think it was like 3 years in this case. And so it's a great story. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad if I could speak today, that Rose recommended it to me. So I'm going to jump in here, and I've got 3 passages picked out. It says, the beauty of the whole exercise is that you strive to improve the lives of others. Your own life will be elevated into its highest dimensions. The truth is based on an ancient paradigm for extraordinary living. So, one of the things that we are to do in the world is to add value. It's one of the reasons why I do these videos. The other reason is because I really want to encourage people to pick up a book and borrow from other people's wisdom. Because let me tell you what, that there is nothing like learning from, in 6 or 8 hours, the wisdom that somebody's compiled over 80 years or 40 years, whatever they're writing about. And so, this section is in chapter 8, and it's about trusting yourself to create the kind of life that you envision, that you believe you should be living. And I really like that, because one of the things that I believe is that we should have an active part in our life. And I don't mean active in like you choose to get up, you go to work, but you're busy busy's not the right word. You're trying to be productive and creative in shaping your life. Okay? And we don't really see that very often. We see more that people just kind of go along. And I got caught in that too for a while. Another story. So, jumping ahead, we have all been granted a unique set of gifts and talents that will readily allow us to realize this life work. The key is to discover them, and in doing so, discover the main objective of your life. So, if you've read the book Pales by Chris Brady, you will recognize this philosophy, because he really covers that, and he really talks about the importance of our experiences building upon each other. Kind of like a layer cake, if you will. And it really allows us to see then in our lives how things add one to another. And the best way to do that is to read a biography, to see how someone's life experiences accumulated to what they ultimately did. Ben Franklin is a classic example of this. And we learn that at 16, Ben Franklin runs away from home, becomes a printer's apprentice, learns the trade, becomes the most successful printer in the city of Philadelphia, and then franchises, to use a modern word, six or seven different print shops across the colonies, and they become the best in that community that they're at, and become very successful. And this allows Franklin to then become a man of science and to study electricity. And he invents the Franklin stove, and he creates bifocals. Thank you. And he goes and he does these things in his life that eventually then, because of becoming well-known in the city of Philadelphia, it elevates him to in enough status that he becomes a statesman. And he goes to abroad to study and to learn, and figures out while doing that the United States is going to have to become its own nation, that we're never going to be able to have peace in reasonable terms with Britain. And then he goes on to become this huge proponent for independence. And he is one of the few people that is there from the Declaration of Independence all the way through the signing of the Constitution, the treaty with the Brits at the end of the Revolutionary War, as we call it in America. So, like, we have the privilege of doing this in our own life, but part of that is also figuring out our own thing to do in life. Okay? And one of the ways that we do that is through discipline, and that is another thing that's huge. That's huge in building the life that you want. Is you've got to have the self-control, the willingness to change, and the desire to do so. Those three things, okay? And so I'm going to go here to chapter 10. It says, when you continually practice the ancient art of self-government, there will be no hurdle too high for you to overcome, no challenge too tough for you to surmount, and no crisis too hot for you to cool down. Self-discipline will provide you with the mental reserves required to persevere when life throws you one of its little curves. And he uses a bit of sarcasm in that, because the reality is that life can throw big curves, little curves. And going back to the life of Franklin, when he realized that they weren't going to be able to have peace with Britain and kind of fix things, is because Ben Franklin got hauled into the king's court. And one of the most prolific and foul-mouthed prosecutors just attacked Ben for, I think it was like an hour, and just laid into him, just laid into him, and was talking a lot of trash. And Ben just stood there, calm as a summer's day. Not a movement, not a facial gesture, zero. Okay? And he withstood it. And then he came home and got readily involved in in that process of pursuing America's freedom and playing an active role in winning the French over to our side and getting funding from the Dutch, and a couple different things that go along in there. And just a little side note, I know this is like a review of Ben Franklin's autobiography, but it's still one of the #1 best-selling books in the world. Boom. Huge. All right. So, in this book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, they cover 7 virtues. the 7 timeless virtues of an enlightened life. Okay? And I'm not going to go through all of them. I did in the other video, but I'm just gonna skip it. I do encourage you to go get this book, read it. It will benefit you. You will learn from it if you do read it. Now, my friends, if you get value from this video, please like and share it. If you know somebody that is looking to improve their lives through the practice of self-leadership, discipline, that's what I help people with at Turning Leaf Solutions. My website is turningleafs.com. That is Leafs. And what you will find there is a list of over 200 books that I recommend that people read, including this one now. I have a top 10 list of books with honorable mentions. And for those of you that want to connect, I have my social media links on there. And you can also find a link for the book account to book a meeting with me to see if we'd be a fit and I could start to coach you and help you move through this process. Because let me tell you what, I personally needed help to get started too. And there are a lot of people that need a mentor or that need somebody who can look at things objectively and provide some guidance. And that's what I do at Turning Leafs. That's what I love to do, is to help people grow. So you can go on there. There's a Calendly link right on the bottom of the main page. You can hit that, book an appointment, and we'll get set up to see if we're a fit. If we're not, fantastic. Pick a book off the list, and maybe we can point you in the direction of somebody who can work with you. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this video. My apologies on the last one being bad, and I hope that this one, not only the audio is better, but it also tended to be a better video. So take care, my friends. Go out and make it a great day, and go out and make it a great week. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.